Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Kickin Tyres. I'm Adam Gray, and as always, I'm joined by the lovely Tim Barnes-Clay. Tim, how are you doing?
Adam, I'm very well, thanks for asking. Are you okay? I don't know if you can see my eyes behind the reflective glass.
You look quite
I can't see you now, though.
mysterious.
I know. It's just that sort of intellectual look that I have when I'm writing, and I forget to take them off. But no, I'm all right, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, all right. Still a bit knackered after our jaunt a couple of weeks ago to China, but slowly getting there. Yeah, just came back and had to hit the ground running, really. So haven't had much
We did.
chance to catch up on rest or anything else for that matter. How are you anyway?
Yeah, I mean, do you know, bizarrely, it's the same. You wouldn't think going, I suppose, halfway around the world would knacker you out that much, but you know, it's not just going halfway around the world, is it? It's well, A is an amazing experience, but of course, you have work to continue with while you're there, and of course, when you come back, and the obvious time zones. But yeah, I've been straight into two other car launches off the back of China. There are quite a few things we can and can't talk about, and I've almost lost the plot what we're allowed to say and what we're not. But I do know that I went to a Geely launch, which was another Chinese car. That was the EX2, a very affordable, um, entry level way, you could argue, of getting into sort of the EV sphere. Very impressive rear wheel drive car, that EX2. Perfect for a first car. It could be your only car, even if you don't do many miles. It's got a frunk, probably the size of a, I don't know, Vauxhall Corsa, if you're not into cars. Oh, yeah, I was very impressed in the price. From memory, pure memory, I think I asked how much I'd be spending per month on something like that because I thought, oh, that'd be quite good for my daughter if she was up for a new car. And I think it was like 299 quid a month with very little down, but with about 6,000 miles a year as your cap.
Mm.
Obviously, you know, that goes up the more miles you do. But I thought, yeah, it's really reasonable for a car that's really ideal for city driving. And you're not necessarily going to do a lot more than 6,000 miles a year if that is your sort of footprint for driving, so to
Mm.
speak. It wouldn't suit you or me. I mean, you know, I'm hammering the motorways, you know, weekly. I mean, you know, isn't that typical? We do a podcast and instantly my phone starts ringing. It's like my tag goes off for leave the house or something. Joking. But anyway, we'll deal with that later. So yeah, that was fantastic going down. But where was I going? Yeah, so flew in from China, ended up working, and then drove down to I think it was Gloucestershire/Wiltshire borders. So a fair old way, even from where I am. Good 3 hours in the car. Really lovely to see everybody. Wonderful to catch up with the fantastic Simon Branney, who is the PR guru there at Geely,
Mm.
or Geely Auto UK, to give it the full name, because Geely does. I mean, the umbrella company Geely has many cars, doesn't it, under its parenting? I mean, what you're looking at: Volvo, Lotus. Can you think of any others, Adam? Huge
Uh,
amounts of cars.
Volvo, Lotus, Polestar,
Polestar.
Aston Martin. It's got
Do
some
you know, I always forget that.
minimal shares in Aston Martin. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So that was great. And of course, you and I both went to the Geely Star A launch, didn't we?
yeah.
At Long Cross Film Studios. And since then, there's been the Geely EX5,
Mm.
which I had on test only this week, actually, and the end of last week. Now, that's again, that's an EV. I don't know if you've driven it yet,
Yeah,
but it's
I have. Yeah.
yeah. Well, you can tell me what you think of it then, because okay, it's got a face that I would say only a mother could love, but you know, this car was decent enough with its range. I think it had a range of about 280 miles officially. I think I got about just over 200 the way I was driving it. 214 brake horsepower, 0 to 62 in 7.6 seconds, 109 on the maximum speed readout. But that was a car that's 38,990. I had the Ultra, which is the top spec version. Massive central display dominates the cabin, like it does on a lot of EVs. You are an EV owner. You've got a Tesla, so I guess your sort of benchmark is quite high when it comes to two EVs. But I thought, it's priced competitively at under 40. It's roomy, as I say. I've said before in podcasts. Part of a family of 5, so it will work really well for us. It doesn't do a lot for me in terms of its looks. That's the only thing. But beauty is subjective, isn't it? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But generally speaking, I thought it gave good acceleration, fast charging. At the end of the day, for the price, not bad. What were your takeaways, if you can remember having that one?
So I'll be honest, I did that long ago. I've just had to quickly look there on the Car Buying Coach UK website, where I published my review of it under the resources section in the expert car review section. Yeah, essentially what you've already touched on. As you said, it's an all electric SUV. It's not attempting to redefine the segment though, with its styling or its driving excitement. Instead, what it focuses on, is the cabin quality, which I thought was decent. You get a generous, a generous equipment list. It's comfortable. It's pretty refined, as you've mentioned, competitively priced, and it comes with strong warranty support. So, it feels mature, thoughtfully engineered, strategically positioned, if you could say that. So, my recommendation, for UK buyers seeking an electric family car that delivers somewhat of a premium feel without that premium brand price, and then it does deserve some serious consideration. So it may not, seek attention, but it delivers, where it matters most, I suppose, was kind of my summary of it.
And I mean, we can't not talk about our trip to China now, really, can we?
No.
Adam, you go first. Tell me, it was your second trip to China, I believe, wasn't it? What did you think second time around? Were you as impressed as the first time going to that country?
Yeah, it's such a fascinating place. I'll be honest though, the first time that I went, when I came back, I swore I would never go back again for only a few days, because there's so much more I would love to see. Um, and I'll be honest, and I've heard this from other people who've also been to China with other manufacturers. The Chinese have a tendency to cram as much as they can into an itinerary, which is great. It keeps you busy, but when you're arriving from the UK and you're battling jet lag, and then you're trying to kind of find your feet and get into grips with things, and then getting thrust into, a hectic schedule. It can be quite a lot to take in, can be quite overpowering. Um, and so as I said, I swore I would never go back for just a few days. It would have to be longer. Anyway, I I was invited again. Of course, I wanted to take up the opportunity, but again, it was for only a few days, well, 5 days, which again is cutting it really fine, I think. But yeah, going back to what I said, a fascinating place, so busy, so much going on, so much, so many interesting things to see, and you really are looked after incredibly well. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank XPeng for their hospitality once again. They really did look after us. Hotel was great, flights were great, apart from, which wasn't XPeng's fault, by the way, but on the way home, a flight getting cancelled. Yeah, so I mean, it's just, what do you want me to talk about here? Do you want me to talk about the trip and why we went, or do you want me to talk about where it went wrong from start to finish? Because
I mean,
I can do both or either.
I could put my little 2 pence worth in at this point, I
Go for it.
suppose, because I remember we had 3 different embargoes and we signed many NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. I do know that I can talk about this bit. I do know that we can say we went to see the G9L. We flew out, didn't we, for an XPeng preview.
Yeah.
and the G9L is effectively a luxury version of the existing G9 that is in certain markets within Europe, but not in the UK. And so I ended up speaking to a guy called Jean Mélenchon. I probably have pronounced that incredibly badly, so apologies to him. But anyway, he's the creative director of XPeng's Shanghai studio. Now, we weren't in Shanghai. We were in a place called Guangzhou. Is that how you pronounce it? Guangzhou?
Guangzhou, who knows?
Yeah. So that was in southern China. Well, still is, funnily enough, in southern China. And what is it, about an hour and a half maybe to Hong Kong on the speedy trains they have there. Incredibly amazing place. But this G9L, we can't really talk about the European version because that is being unveiled at the Paris Motor Show towards the mid part, I think. I think it's on the 12th of October, press day, again, purely from memory. And we can talk more about it then. But it's effectively a very good-looking SUV, very plush inside, and it's the sort of car you can very well imagine, on the roads of the Middle East as well as China. Remains to be seen about what we think of it being on the roads of the UK, but I could see it being an alternative to the legacy brands that some top execs, say Canary Wharf, have as their company car or whatever. It's the sort of car that you can imagine being chauffeured around in, actually. Very nice indeed. Again, I can't say too much, but some people have put very interesting comments on some of my pictures about it, looking very similar to, shall we say, a car that JLR have made in the past. But anyway, it's got loads of AI, it's got loads of assisted driving technology, it's got tons of stuff. But you see, that's no surprise because XPeng is not just an automaker. It sees itself as a technology company, doesn't it? And it's
a technology
got
company. It's a technology company that so happens to be an automotive company. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I've come back with photos of me with my arm around a robot called Iron. But you probably know more about this, don't you? Because you've actually been in, I don't know if it was an XPeng car, but you can tell me it was a self-driving car you've been in, haven't
you? Yeah, so sorry, got a frog in my throat. Timing.
Don't choke to death on my behalf. Get loads of clicks now if you do die, though, while we're recording this.
Where was I? So I went out to China in the back end of April, again to Guangzhou, as a guest of XPeng. There were, I suppose, three purposes for that visit, and I spoke about this on, many episodes ago. One of the reasons that I went was to see the humanoid robots that XPeng are producing. I went to see the flying car that's in production and to see a demo of that. And then I got to test VLA 2.0, which is XPeng's full self-driving technology. Excuse me, which I tested on the streets of Beijing in a XPeng, the next P7 it was called. One of these.
It's like Blue Peter. Here's one you made earlier.
Yep.
Fantastic.
One of these. I actually picked up that toy car when we were there. Yeah.
Did you buy it?
I got it from the coffee shop in the headquarters. I bought it from there.
You actually bought it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And I've got my other. So there's a humanoid robot.
Oh yes, didn't I give one to you as well because I couldn't fit it in my luggage?
This is the one that you gave to me. Yeah. And then I don't know if you can see it. The chip in the background that's lit up.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah.
So if I turn it off,
that does look good.
See it?
Yeah, nice. Something else I had to leave behind.
Yeah. So yeah, I've this isn't my first rodeo when it comes to XPeng. That was my first kind of experience with the brand, going out to Guangzhou. Had a great time. As I said, it just wasn't long enough. My second kind of involvement with the brand was a trip to Munich again with you, and we
Yeah.
saw the L03 being unveiled, another SUV, didn't
We
we?
did.
Yeah.
We did, and it was an interesting time because XPeng have been fantastic, and certainly were in China, you know. And we went with the global team,
Mm.
supported by the European team, didn't we? Actually,
Yeah.
or maybe we went with the European team. I'm not sure, but we were hosted certainly by Sven, who is based in the Netherlands,
Mm.
but also hosted by the global team around the factory, and also just generally around the HQ. But whatever, you know, incredibly lovely and very warm people, very polite people, actually, I found. The Chinese, I'm talking about generally. And I would say, though, that the European L03 launch that we went on wasn't as well organized, was it? I think we may have covered that, but it wasn't
It was
easy for anyone to manage, I wouldn't have thought.
no, I don't think it was that. It was badly organized. I just think it was just there were too many people there. I think we
Yeah.
spoke about it a couple of podcasts ago, and I think there was something like 1,000 people
Yeah.
attended that event, which isn't something um, in Europe that we see. We don't see events on that scale. Typically, when there's a launch, there'll be several. There'll be the launch, but then there could be several rotations when it comes to the event or whatever like that. It might be all the you know journalists on one rotation, all the influencers and content creators on another, or whatever. They all work differently, but certainly that's not something we used to. So I don't think it was that it was badly organized, because I don't think it was. I think they made they tried their best, but I just think it was just pretty chaotic. And that my
Very
first
good
trip
word
to
for it.
and
Yeah.
my first trip to China, that admittedly that was pretty chaotic too. There was over 100 people from across the world there, and trying to keep everybody pleased and answer everybody's questions is an incredibly difficult task. And the staff at XPeng are fantastic. At trying to deal and spin lots of plates. So shout out to them, but also shout out to Tom Knock at Archetype. Um,
Archetype, the PR agency that XPeng are now working with.
yeah,
Absolutely. What a top bloke,
yeah,
eh?
top bloke. His colleagues that we had dealings with, Eve, and I can't remember the other lady's name.
Louise,
Louis,
I think.
was it Louise?
Yeah.
Who we met in Munich. Fantastic, such lovely people. But it was great to spend a couple of days with Tom. He was incredibly helpful, and he's kept in touch with me. I don't know about
He
you.
has. Yeah, he has.
Yes, okay. He must like
Yeah.
us then, if he's kept in touch
Yeah.
with us. Because most PRs,
Yeah, I think.
after these events, we never hear from them again.
Well, we have spoken about that in the past, haven't
Yeah, we
we?
have. Yeah,
The PRs,
yeah.
the communication industry that doesn't
They don't
communicate. But
communicate.
anyway,
Yeah.
they are. Well, it depends on the brands, doesn't it? Speaking of different brands, because we have been China heavy.
Mm.
Funnily enough, talking about going to China. But I went to a Japanese brand launch
A
quite
what?
recently as well.
A
Yeah,
what?
the horror. Yeah, I went to the new Lexus ES launch.
Wow.
Although it was quite amusing because I turned up right to this all electric ES in a Lexus LC 500 convertible that's got a
Nice.
5-litre V8 beast under the
Nice.
hood.
Nice.
So it's quite. I was sitting there having dinner with the MD and the PR guys, and they were going, "Yeah, someone's turned up in a massive, great 5-litre V8 to our EV launch." Yeah, I was looking at that. It looks great, doesn't it? I said, "Yeah, that was me. That was your car that you've lent me." They were laughing. The irony of me turning up in one of those to an EV launch. But yeah, that was a very interesting car. I'm talking about actually here, the
Yeah.
one I drove down in,
Yeah.
because driving as we do a lot of the time EVs, actually having something that does 24 to the gallon, can do 168 miles an hour and does 0 to 62 in 5 seconds. Granted,
Mm.
that's probably not as quick as some EVs, but just the sound of this sort of 457 horses coming out of the engine, and all right, it emits around 275 grams per kilometre of CO2, and the price is, well, kind of new. I think that was the last. Well, certainly I know that was the last hurrah for that car, but new.
Hmm.
You were looking at, about 120 grand for one of those.
Yeah.
But I had such a blast driving down to West Sussex in that to this launch, as I say, the ES, which is its polar opposite, and then driving home 3.5 hours back to the Midlands
I think
at
of worse
night. I
cars
think I
to
left.
drive.
Oh, absolutely. I had the roof down at midnight. I was actually really cold about an hour and a half into that, thinking, oh, I think I've overdone the roof down thing now.
What it,
I
what
think I'll
it,
put it back up.
what it did.
I know. Well, otherwise it goes back tomorrow. I've got to do it at some
Right,
point. It's like,
yeah.
it was good. And then I froze and put the heated seats on about 1:30 in the morning, so I was bloody freezing.
I just want
But
to
anyway,
correct you
no,
on
it was
something,
a
though.
good laugh.
Well, not correct you on
Yeah.
something, but just to set the record straight on something. So you spoke about
Yes.
going to the launch of the Lexus ES, which you're saying is EV only. It's EV only in the UK.
Only in the UK,
Only
you're
in
right.
the UK.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I've written about
Yeah.
it for a couple of the North American publications that I write for, and over there it is available as Lexus is following a multi-pathway strategy for the ES. So it offers a choice of a self-charging hybrid and a battery electric powertrains, depending on the country.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. I mean, I really like the look of it. I
Nice
mean,
looking thing, yeah.
whatever's under the bonnet or the hood for North
Yeah, on
American
the
market,
hood.
it is a very good looking saloon.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see saloons coming back in vogue.
Yep.
Having grown up when I did with saloons pretty much all around us, with estate cars, hatchbacks were just about coming in when I was very small. And you can get SUV'd out, can't you?
Yeah.
In this day and age. So that was lovely. And so I have to go back to Chinese cars now, though, because another car I had in recently was the Chery Tigo 4. Now, you may have driven that, Adam. Have you?
Nope. I've not.
See that?
I have not driven any cherries.
You should do. You should get in touch with the guys there, because
I have
is
been in touch with the guys there.
Have you had
It's not for want of trying.
feedback?
It's not for want of trying. It's not for want of trying.
Oh, wait. Maybe we need a word after this podcast then.
I've been in touch with them, and I've asked them if it'd be possible to arrange some loans or to get added to the list of invitee list for their events, but never heard a thing back.
Well, maybe we should move swiftly on to the Suzuki Swift then that I drove recently. Yet another Japanese car.
What a segue that was. Slick.
What a segue. Aren't you amazed at that? Oh, look at that.
You tell you worked on the radio.
We can always come back to the Tigo 4. But the Suzuki Swift, I've forgotten what a smart little super mini that is.
Great little car.
It feels so much quicker than the figures on paper suggest. I mean, 0 to 62 looks so lame at 12.5 seconds in black and white. But because the car's so light, even my son who's sort of into quick cars and stuff, go, oh, it's quite a nippy thing. I quite enjoy this. It's quite nice. I wouldn't mind one of these. So I was surprised. But it's a good laugh to drive in the 1.2 litre mild hybrid petrol version I had. I say only 21,099 quid new. But if you look at PCP deals, that would be pretty much peanuts per month. CO2 on the car I had was 99 grams per kilometre. That was the Ultra, and it had a manual gear stick, so only 5 speed, but that probably made it more fun to drive, and only 82 brake horsepower. So, 64.2 to the gallon officially. I was getting regularly, I saw 60, and I wasn't driving it particularly conservatively, so I was impressed by that. So I was sort of looking at it and thinking, okay, yes, it has a place in the business world as well as on your driveway for families, because just say you've got a really small business and you don't really want many outgoings, you haven't got you haven't got the money to buy or to lease this amazing car, and you're not that asked about image, frankly. But you need to get A to B, but you don't want to commit to an EV. Then this is a great little car because, as I say, it's low weight, makes it reasonably quick. It's so agile, so easy to park. And it's got cruise control. The one I had heated seats, smartphone connectivity. So I reckon for anyone that doesn't need a large car, it makes a really compelling financial case. And it was just, as I say, really refreshing to drive.
I'm going to ask you
and
a
I did.
question. Sorry to interrupt. I'm going to
Yeah,
ask you a question.
yeah, go for
So
it.
we've spoken about two little super minis during this episode, the Geely EX2
Yeah,
and the Suzuki Swift. One is a mild
yeah,
hybrid, one is an EV, right?
yeah.
Um, your money, what are you buying? Which one are you choosing?
I'd
And why?
I'd actually be quite torn there, you know, because the EX2 is rear-wheel drive, so it's got that kind of
Fun play factor.
nice sort of, yeah, that kind of BMW
Yeah.
style kind of drive to it. The Suzuki I like in lots of ways because it's like a comfy pair of old slippers. It's been around for yonks. It's kind of cute, but you can rag it around. Yeah, the
Bulletproof as well.
EX2 you can, yeah, absolutely bulletproof. The EX2 hasn't got, well, it's only just come out, so we have no idea how reliable it's going to be, but I would assume pretty reliable with Geely at the helm. The range of the car, I think, again, I haven't got the figures in front of me, but I think it was around 200 miles, something like that. So you could probably definitely could do more with the Suzuki. With my circumstances, with my parents, both of them living 100 odd miles from where I live, I would choose the Suzuki if it was going to be my main car. But if it was my daughter, or if I was just confined to the town I live in terms of my business, my family members all live next door, I'd probably go for the EX2. So I'm kind of sitting on the fence there, but both cars, EX2, hugely impressive, great to drive, really well built, and inside it looks pretty premium. Suzuki,
It's quite
you
a big.
couldn't really say it's premium inside.
Sorry to
quite tinny.
Yeah, sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt. It's I've just googled that. So the official total driving range for a 1.2 mile hybrid Swift is 522 miles for the manual version, which is the one you tested.
Wow.
It has
Wow.
a 37-liter fuel tank, and it gets up to the manual gets up to 64.2 miles per gallon WLTP combined. Obviously, it's available with an automatic CVT gearbox in it. That particular version will give you up to 489 miles range, and in terms of fuel economy, 60.1 miles per gallon WLTP combined. So quite a considerable difference between the range of the EX2 and the Swift then, isn't it? Even if you went for the CVT.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I also don't know how much you'd end up spending, say you didn't do a monthly PCP on the Geely. I'm trying to remember it. I'm trying to remember actually what the
Do you know what the on the
actual
road price
cost was. No, I can't remember. I mean, I reckon it's got to be around 24 grand, something like that.
So a couple of grand.
Ah, I found it. So the entry level one, you can get that for 20 grand or 21. Let's say 20,990. The one I drove, which is the Ultra, looking at 25,490. Or there's one in the middle, which is 23,490. And both the top versions, the Max and the Ultra, have the 47 kilowatt hour battery. So yeah, as I say, I wouldn't turn my nose up at either of those cars. But yeah, Suzuki for my needs would, in terms of needing to get to parents hundreds of miles away, yeah, I would go for that.
I'd be curious to see how the EX2 does, because the only other super mini EV that's kind of come from China to this market.
I can hear it's all kicking off in your hood, isn't it?
Sorry, I've got the window open because it's boiling in here. I mean, I could just
take some sound effects buttons sort of under your desk you were hitting or whatever.
Just to make it more dramatic. What I'm about to say. Yeah, anyway, back to what I was saying. So the only other EV super mini that has come to this market from China, and I don't know if you'll remember this or if you even drove one, the GWM Ora Funky Cat.
Funky Cat.
Funky Cat, yeah.
I do, and I did, and I shot a video on that as well with Mr. James Morris, or should I say the doctor,
The
Dr.
doctor,
James
Dr.
Morris
James
of
Morris, yeah.
Which EV.
Mm.
So I promised I'd give him a little plug, and you just handed it to me on a plate. So anyway, yes, I did, and then they changed it, didn't they? Didn't they get rid of the name Funky Cat and then just call it the Aura?
Yeah, just
Oh,
call it the
03 or
Ora.
0.
Or just
Have they got
03.
rid of it? Is it still going?
No,
I've got a feeling it's gone, isn't it?
no, I do.
I might be
I
imagining
can't
that.
honestly say that I think I've ever seen any on the road. I
I think I've
tested
seen. No, I have
one.
seen one.
Oh yeah, I tested
Yeah.
one years ago, and it wasn't a bad little thing, to be fair. Cute looking,
Yeah, cute, definitely.
quite feminine, to be honest. It's
Yeah,
got
I'd
quite
agree.
like
I'd agree.
feminine touches to it. But it was quite a cute little thing. It wasn't a bad thing to drive. My
Yeah.
mum still bangs on about it to this day. She's like, "Oh, do you remember that funky cat car that you had on test?" I was like,
So it's worked for her then,
yeah,
hasn't it?
yeah,
Actually,
yeah."
the only one I've ever seen is a school run car, and I always see it because it is the only one I've ever seen other than my test car,
Mm.
and it is a woman driving it. Interestingly, but Japanese cars again. By the way, I got to drive the Lexus UX300H recently. Have you driven that or written about that?
Written about it. Not driven it though. I bet that was good
Yeah, I
though.
was quite impressed. Yeah, I really liked it actually. I think it's really for those professionals, I would say, who want a premium experience but without the running costs of a large luxury SUV.
Mm.
So this is it's got a self-charging hybrid system. So I found it really effective in town. I was consistently getting 50 plus to the gallon. I also noted the price of it was again well under 40. It's like about 38
Mm.
for 38, 95 quid or something like that. 38 grand, let's say. 2 litre self-charging hybrids, 0 to 62 in 8.1 seconds. So not anywhere near as quick as say your Tesla, but no, I found it comfy. I did a lot of long journeys in it. I didn't feel knackered after driving quite a few miles in it. It's got heated seats, smartphone connectivity. So I reckon for execs or people who've got, again, fairly large families who value comfort, reliability, and predictability, I think that is a very good car to have. And I think it's slightly underrated. See, Lexus has got quite a cool image, hasn't it, in North America?
Yeah.
Still has here, but it's not a big share of the market here, is it,
No,
Lexus? But that's why it's so exclusive, potentially.
yeah, it's incredibly popular in North America. It obviously is the luxury arm of Toyota. And it carries that also because it carries that Toyota DNA in the form of reliability. The UX is an interesting one, compact luxury crossover, and where it sits in the model range. So there's actually the LBX is actually the entry level model, which is smaller,
Yeah.
and that's your kind of your way into Lexus, if you like. And then there's the larger mid-size NX in the brand's SUV lineup, and the UX sits between it. So yeah, it's and do you know what UX it stands for? Don't quote me on
No,
this. I think this is what it stands for.
go on then.
Urban Explorer.
Oh, I think, yeah, do you know, I've heard that.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
it does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because RAV, looking back at the RAV4, do you remember that? Didn't
Yes.
that stand for something like, can you remember what that stood for? Wasn't that recreational something vehicle?
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm, I'm sure it was.
So you had
Don't know
the
what the A stood for.
UX300H, which was a 2-litre self-charging petrol electric hybrid. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I did.
that goes up against other the small luxury crossovers. That goes up against will be BMW X1, X2, Audi Q3, Mercedes GLA. Those ones.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't even feel that small, to be honest. I was quite impressed by it, more so than I thought I would be. And I had a couple of other cars that were Japanese in the last few weeks as well, including this one that I really liked, which was the Honda Prelude. Have you driven that yet?
You had that ages ago. You didn't have it weeks ago. Have
It
you
was
had it
literally
again?
must. No, so it must be months ago then, because we drove up to that
Yeah,
Polestar launch, didn't we?
we've spoken
And I was
about it,
in
and I
that.
saw it in the car park. It was months ago.
There you go. Must be months ago then. Well, I was writing about it again recently because I was just so impressed by it, and I don't know why, because it's not that quick. I mean, it's what, like 8.2 seconds to 62,
Nice
but it
looking
was
thing.
economical. Yeah, that was the looks of it that really got me. And I was talking about it the other day, and I thought, oh, I'll just write about it again. And yeah, I just thought it was not an obvious choice for a business user, but that's precisely why it's interesting, because it could be, couldn't it? You know, CO2 emissions aren't that low, but they're not that high either, 117 grams per kilometre. The price, quite an expensive car though, at 41 grand.
Yeah, yeah,
But it offers efficiency without sacrificing what I thought character,
yeah,
personality.
yeah.
And that's why it stood out for me. It could work for you as well, I reckon. I think you should get that in and write about that. It's something worth driving again anyway.
Yeah, I took pictures of it at SMMT Tester.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
have written about it, but I haven't had the chance to drive one. But I think that could do quite well for the North American audience. So I might
I
see if I
think it
can
would.
line
It's
one of
got
those
that.
up.
You need to do that because that coupe body gives it that real sort of sexy look, and it just stands out from all the SUVs, doesn't it? Really, and even the super minis we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Which I have to. Oh God, I have to talk about another SUV here. But I had a Nissan Juke in, which you know you see them 10 a penny, don't you? But I thought it makes quite a good case for downsizing without giving up, say, the practicality of a posher business car.
Mm.
So just thinking, it's got a petrol electric hybrid system. Okay. And I was regularly getting north of 50 to the gallon driving this thing. 29 grand, the one I had, but I had the end connector version. I just thought maybe it's so ubiquitous, people have almost forgotten about it. So I thought it was worth just bringing up again. Have you ever driven a Nissan Juke?
Yeah. Yeah. Many years
But
ago.
you're not impressed. You're not impressed by them, are you? I've got to see
Uh,
that.
the only Nissan I'd have would be a Skyline GTR. You can keep the rest. No, yes, I have driven one. I've driven X Trails as well. I've driven Qashqais. Um, there is a reason why there are so many of them on the roads. They aren't. They are good cars, to be fair. Um,
Yeah.
certain kind of generations did have issues with them, and that was a question I was just about to ask you there. Am I right in believing that once upon a time Nissan had a partnership with Renault for the engines? Is that correct?
Yeah, there's always been that sort of alliance, hasn't
Mercedes
there,
did as well
between them?
once upon a time, didn't it? So anything below a 2 liter, or was it 2 liter and below, was a petrol or diesel, was a Renault engine in a Mercedes.
There are so many cars, so many brands actually that people don't realize have, I mean, years ago, Ford and Volvo were connected.
Yeah, Audi
And
and Porsche.
yeah, well, it's all kicking off in your neighborhood. I can really hear those sirens now.
They're coming for me.
That's because we're talking about Nissan Jukes. But, look, people put the Nissan Juke down, but it's popular, as you say, for a reason.
Yeah,
And got loads of tech in it,
yeah,
as the N connector spec might
yeah,
hint at. But I was driving it thinking, look, it's got a 12-inch or 12.3 if you're going to be finicky, touchscreen, digital instrument cluster, wireless smartphone. You know, as I say, well over 50 to the gallon, 29 grand on the particular one I had, but you can get them for a lot less than that. Great second-hand buy as well. And I just thought it was worth mentioning that these cars exist, but there's been so many of these Chinese cars that we've been driving, as I say, going out to China, looking at them as well. But some of the delivery guys who bring the press cars to me, he was saying it's great you're driving other cars because some journalists are literally just doing Chinese cars back to back to back to back at the moment,
yeah.
which is wonderful. But I think it's important to try and remember some of these legacy brands and say
And
other
also,
cars
and
are
also to
available.
benchmark the Chinese stuff that's coming against what
Mm,
else is available from other countries like Japan. Yeah. So it is important.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've got some launches coming up haven't we? As we wrap this program up, but I think you're still in two minds whether you can make it or not. But we've got the Polestar 5 launch, haven't we? Coming
Yeah,
up.
I need to go back to Polestar this week. They've kindly invited me to that event, and I really want to attend it, but I might be traveling again and might not be able to make it. So I'm trying to make both things happen if I can. So yeah, I need to go back to Polestar this week because I really, really like the Polestar. Polestar as a brand. I love the PR team. I think they're absolutely fantastic. Lovely people. Um, there's my Polestar. I can't even get my. There you go. There's my Polestar little model from
Nice.
our last launch we went on. And the other thing as well is the Polestar 5 launch is in my neck of the woods, Anik.
It's in your neck of the woods because the last Polestar launch was in your kind of neck of the woods, wasn't it?
Yes.
Ish.
Yes.
Sort of an hour or so beyond where you are.
I think hour and a half to Anik, so it's a little bit further, but yeah, still my neck.
Yeah. No, look forward to getting there. Another Chinese car launching, what's BYD, Dolphin GDMI, coming out. Then there's the rather tasty little supermini, the Peugeot E208 GTI launch, which is going to be something I'd love to get behind the wheel of. And that's happening in Scotland. So not quite your neck of the woods, but not a million miles away from you either.
That'll be a good one. That'll be a good launch.
Yeah.
That one. Did you see yesterday? I saw the Fiesta's making a comeback.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
There's all these rumours about it making a comeback.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was official what I saw, so please don't hold me to it. But I saw some pictures of a new Fiesta electric version, and it's in ST form as well.
ST4.
Yeah, one second. I'm just going to Google it to make sure this is right.
While you Google that, hopefully no one's going to come into my podcast. I can hear a dog woofing and walking, but hopefully I'll be all right for the next 5 minutes while you Google that.
Yes, so it's Auto Express. Covered it 4 days ago. New Ford Fiesta ST, non-negotiable return of an iconic hot hatch. It's got to be said, though, that the image that they lead with on that particular story on Auto Express. Oh, 1 second, my doorbell's ringing. Wait there. 1 second.
I really hope it's not going to be a Capri.
1 second. I'm sorry, I'm working. I can't cover the door. Okay, no worries, cheers. Oh, sorry about that.
Well,
it was a chat.
Well, you remember when they said
it was
who was it?
It was somebody from St. John's Ambulance collecting for charity, which I feel awful that I can't go and chat to them.
At least it could have been the Jehovah's Witnesses or something, couldn't it? But you did well there getting rid of them.
Swift, get lost. Yeah. So, but sorry, what I was saying there is, 4 days ago, Auto Express published an article: new Ford Fiesta ST, non-negotiable return of an iconic hot hatch. Fast forwards are non-negotiable. The first could be a return of the hot Fiesta ST Supermini. Now,
wow,
the picture that leads this story, the front end looks like an Alpine. It's got those cutouts with those fog lights built into them, and it's.
But before we get too excited, do you remember they promised the return of the Capri?
Oh,
and then
that
look
was
what
massively disappointed. Yeah, massively.
So it's all very well, you could sort of have another human being born into the world and call it Adam Gray, but it's never going to be you, is it?
Nobody wants that.
Just slap the name on something and it could be that all over again. No, it has to be actually more than just the name. So yeah, let's hope. And actually, talking of names, Aeon, AION, which we've already been to the Aeon V launch, but there's another launch coming up of the Aeon. It's the second car Aeon are launching in the UK called the Aeon UT or Ute. But I'd be really surprised if they call it the Aeon Ute. But it's the Aeon UT, and yeah, again, I don't know too much about it. I've just said, yes, I'll go to the launch and look at it and drive it and see where we go from there. Hopefully, I'll see you on that. Good.
Yeah, I got the invite for that one. I also said I would
Brilliant.
attend, but unfortunately, I've just realised I don't have a clue when it is. So I'm really glad
Well,
that
it
you
is
reminded me.
sometime in September. That's all I know.
One
But
second.
yeah, to be honest with you, that whole Chinese experience we did was so awesome that I've kind of lost the plot slightly with what I'm doing, where I'm going, and who I'm seeing. But that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's on the 10th of September. Thursday, the 10th of
Ah, there you
September.
go.
So no doubt I'll be heading down the day before, Wednesday the 9th. That reminds me, I'll have to chase them up about accommodation for that one. But yeah, thanks for reminding me. But yes, I've got that Aeon
No.
one, and then the back end of September, beginning of October will be the Polestar launch, and then you've got other ones lined up. To be honest, I've had that much on my plate recently. I've had to really kind of scale back the amount that I kind of commit to. So I'll be honest, I've got no cars lined up, and I've only got those two launches to attend. Those press drives, sorry, the Aeon UT and the Polestar 5. I've got just that much on my plate at the minute, spinning so many plates, and don't want to drop the ball.
Well, listen, I think that we can look forward to our next podcast, which will be in a couple of weeks' time, because we've had to just skip a week, I think,
Yeah,
what the
I think
Chinese
I think we were
adventure.
meant to record this episode last week, but I was still in. No, it was not last week. It was the week before. I
There
was
you go.
in
You're in Dubai.
Dubai, yeah, on the way back from China.
Yeah,
So yeah, and we said as well that when we did the first season or first series of the podcast that we were going to do 10 episodes. This is episode 9. So technically speaking, we've only got one more to go before we wrap up series 1. So I think we might have a little break between series 1, whatever you want, series 1, season 1, whatever you want to call it, in season 2, to kind of evaluate things and what's worked, what hasn't worked, etc., etc. And because one thing that we haven't done, and this is something that I've been asked quite a few times, is when are you going to get somebody on to interview? And to be honest, we've had no shortage of people offering
absolutely.
to come on the podcast and to chat with us, and we'd love all of those people that have offered to come on. I think that the difficulty that we've had is aligning my kind of diary, your diary, and their diary. It would be difficult. So we need to plan a little bit
Well, I
further in
think
advance for series 2, season 2.
so. What I reckon is when we come back for season 2, okay, because I ended up being a guest on somebody else's
I
podcast
watched that.
during a launch. Did you? The one in Munich
I watched
that
that
we
one the other
spoke
day
about.
when you decided to speak about me. Apparently, I've got the best hair in
You
automotive
have.
journalism in the UK,
You have.
and I'll
Well, I mean,
take
who
that.
am I to speak?
I mean, I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. I mean,
I'd take
it's the only thing I've got going for me, but I'll take that.
I'd take it. And, the plug obviously was appreciated, even though you didn't sort of get the plug until quite a few weeks after we recorded it.
No,
Um,
I saw it. Well, yeah, I don't think it went out until a couple of weeks after after
oh,
it
there you
was
go.
recorded. I saw it literally the day I think it had gone out, or the day after, and I
Blimey.
messaged Jim, said, "Thanks very much for the mention. I'll take that compliment that I've got the best hair in the industry." And he said, "So you bloody should." He said, "Because you do."
And coming from two baldies, you should take that. Like Jim and myself. Come on, then. We better plug them. Name their podcast, Adam.
Oh, you really put me on the bloody hell! Don't. I
You
feel
can't
awful
remember
now.
the name of it.
I can't. I'm so sorry. Alex, Jim, what's it called?
Alex Lowe.
Alex Lowe, Jim Starlin.
Yeah.
What's their podcast called? You're asking me because you don't even know.
I
You.
just asked you.
just turned my mic off, punching it there. You sneaky bastard.
Look at him as he's
I'm actually
Googling
Googling it now.
surreptitiously under his mic.
1 second. I've just punched my mic.
Jim, sorry about this. He must know. I'm not going to remind him. And Alex.
Charging status.
There you go. So a really subtle nod to Jim and to Alex.
Yeah, the Charging Status EV podcast. I'm so sorry. And I wouldn't care. I've listened to that podcast several times. And I listened to that episode when I was in Dubai, where I got mentioned not last week, the week before. So yeah, apologies. But yeah, great guys. So funny. Both of them really funny lads. Yeah, so check out their what do they call it? Their podcast, Charging Status EV.
Check them out. And yeah, we won't pause for too long. We won't go on hiatus for too long. We'll just think about it. But I think we should perhaps interview some people at launches like they did with me. Because that sometimes is the way to go.
Yeah. We've also got the technical ability now to be able to do that, because we've got 2 microphones, we've got the camera, we've got all sorted, so we can do that.
Exactly. So on that note, let's leave it there for this episode.
Yeah.
Come back. There's loads more to talk about, I'm sure, regarding our Chinese trip, but we don't want to sort of keep overdoing the whole China thing, do we, I suppose?
No.
And just awesome to see you, Adam, you know?
You too, mate. I'm going to go and have a lie down in the dark room now.
So am I.
But yeah, no, great to see you. Obviously, I haven't seen you since China. And we've only touched base a couple of times since then as well, haven't we? Because you've been busy, I've been busy, and so good to catch up with you properly.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, until I guess Polestar or Aeon.
Yes.
Well,
Aeon first. Yeah. All right, mate. Take care. Speak to you soon.
Cheers, Adam. See you soon.